performance goals, year-end reviews. Did hearing that make you cringe? Maybe just a little? You're not alone. When I told some of my family members the subject of my next video, they all had the same reaction, like, why would you do that? Why would you want to talk about that? It was like I was telling them I love doing taxes or something. And I get it. Performance goals are supposed to help you grow, track your success, and at the end of the year, a way to help your boss see why you deserve that raise. But okay, let's be real. Most of the time, they just feel like corporate busy work that we slap together in January and then stress throughout the year until reviews come around in December. So why do you keep doing it this way? Well, part of it is cognitive conditioning, learned helplessness, sunk cost fallacy, the bystander effect. We've been trained to just accept it, going along with bad goals instead of pushing back. That's learned helplessness. And then with sunk cost fallacy, once the goals are made, you feel like you might as well stick with them, even if they're not working. And let's not forget the bystander effect. You've talked about this process with your coworkers. You all know it sucks, but everyone assumes that someone else is going to speak up, so nothing changes. And part of this is what companies want. But it's at the cost of a stressed and less productive workforce that is more likely to burn out or just completely check out. There's no winning there. But just like we've been conditioned to go along with these, you can condition yourself to take back control. That one is called learned optimism. Instead of seeing goals as something that happens to you, you start shaping them to work for you. How can you flip this? What if your performance goals actually worked for you instead of feeling like a trap? That's what we're talking about today, because you can take back control. And it all starts with understanding this game. I have over 25 years of experience in goal setting. Part of those years were also spent as a lead, where I helped my team members set their goals for the year and worked with them throughout the year to make sure that they achieved them. I've seen this from different sides of the fence and seen way too many things. Before I talk about all of that, it's important to look at why the system is broken to begin with. Have you ever wondered why exceeds expectations feels like something you can't attain? Exceeds expectations is a trap, y'all. I was straight up told that it's meant to be that way. It pushes you to go above and beyond, but your salary stays the same. And that extra effort is your unpaid labor. Meets expectations though. Why is this treated like it's a participation trophy? I had an HR rep who constantly reminded employees that meets expectations is a good goal. It means you're doing your job if you meet expectations. So remember that. Performance reviews are tied to our raises. It's how we prove ourselves. Show me the money, buddy. And you think this is negotiable, but raises are money. Money comes from budget. Budget has been decided before you even hit December. They start budgeting June-ish. They have to know how much they're spending for the next year. So the only thing that's in question by the time your review comes around is how much of that kitty you get. And how much you get could also mean someone else is getting less or more. As a lead, I had to handle performance reviews, goal settings, all of those things. And one year, just 1 year, the CTO handed me the spreadsheet of my team members and said, go forth and give them a raise. They can have 5%, no more. And I thought, fantastico. My guys are great. You're all getting 5% across the board, and handed it back happily. And my manager said, the hell are you doing? No, ma'am, no. So what he hadn't explained to me, or maybe I didn't listen, it doesn't really matter. I could give 5% to one person, but then other people would have to get 0. Whatever you give them, the 5% is the max, but the total average for the team can't be more than 3.5%. So I had to go back and change it. And that was the only year I was allowed to give raises for my team. At higher levels of management, part of getting bonuses and doing better as a manager is saving money. So although the budget might say that you can give $10 away for the year, if you only give $5, you've saved the company money. Fantastic. Here's a $2 bonus for you, pal. Do they all do that? No idea, but I know they do it. If you're thinking, wow, that's kind of shitty, I have another. I'm sure you've heard of bell curve grading. They do this in companies too. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Management will say, for your team, you're allowed to give a certain number of exceeds, a certain number for meets expectations, and any remaining must be on missed expectations. While I'm glad that they leave some number for exceeds expectations, I find it annoying that in this scenario, it doesn't matter how your team did. It's just crazy to me that you dictate, nope, I don't care how your team is doing. So the meets, at least they're safe. People that get hit with the missed expectations, they'll go on a PIP. They can lose their job even if they were doing a great job. This practice is horrible. I'm bitching about the performance setting and the reviews, not because I don't believe in them. I just don't like these shady practices. What's the shadiest goal setting system you've seen? Forced rankings, moving targets, a boss who weaponized goals just to keep people in check. Let me know. I just know you guys have seen some nonsense. One of the biggest mistakes in goal setting is not making goals clear, trackable, realistic. And a lot of times, these vague, unhelpful goals aren't even your fault. They're baked into this broken system. They need to be clear and defined goals. One of the biggest years I had in learning this was unfortunately learning it the hard way. I was a lead on a project that was going to add major functionality to our app. It was so big, it was going to replace a legacy system. This legacy app had a product owner that knew it inside and out. So we got him. He was going to join our team. He was going to come over from Germany, live in the US for the duration. We'd have a direct line to the guy with all the answers. It was fantastic opportunity all the way around. That's not what happened though. Unfortunately, in so many ways. So when the product owner came over, he came with baggage of an existing team. He was never let go from that team. The entire time that he was with us in the US, which was over 5 years, by the way. So while he was technically assigned to us and I could physically see him at all times, he continued to work 40 plus hours on his legacy app, which, by the way, was still rolling out updates, still fully in use. So if you're wondering, I sometimes do as well, definitely at that time, how are we supposed to build something new when our PO was buried in his old project? We needed his knowledge to create anything, but he had no time. I remember, this is so stupid, but I remember times where I walked with him to the cafeteria just to get answers so my team could keep moving. We restructured sprints, rearranged priorities. We did everything we could, but it was an impossible project. We all begged management. Either get him off his old team or get him off ours. None of us could work like this, him included, but they wouldn't budge. So going with the theme of this video, can you guess who got blamed when this project struggled? I can tell you it was not the decision makers who kept him locked in 2 places at once. It was us. Shocker. So that year with that manager, I did not get a raise. A lot of us didn't get a raise, including my manager, because he felt the need to tell me that. And for that one, I didn't really care. I wanted the project to succeed. I wanted the system to work. We did everything right, but my goals just weren't airtight enough to protect me from the realities of a broken system. In retrospect, one of the things that would have made this better, that the project is dependent on all the factors being in a row. If we have to make mitigations and it still leads into a good product, then so be it. That would have helped things immensely. But in the end, it becomes a learning experience. And I guess a story for here to help others. I'll take that. I have no choice now. So part of that too is not just making sure that you have tight goals, but it's about your boss, because in the end, that's who you're reporting to. And your boss is your front line to getting the feedback. You should have some sort of relationship with them. So in the end, at least you feel fairly judged as part of your goals. That was another learning. The boss does matter, because that year screwed and we didn't really get along. The next year, it was still the same project, but I transitioned to a different manager. Goals were tweaked because I had learned, and at the end of the year, I got a raise. He understood that there were mitigating factors. How amazing. Not really. This is another level that you'll need in order to take back your power. So here are my boss types that I have. Micromanager. This person needs to control everything. Exceeds will happen if you can read their mind. The phantom boss is never around. You can never see them, never pin them down. But somehow when you get to your end of year reviews, they got feedback for you. And you have the numbers obsessed manager. It doesn't even really matter how things work with the different projects. If you can show numbers, KPIs, percentage of this, totals of this, that's the big thing for these people. And then you have the favoritist. If you know you're not the golden child, that more than anything, make sure that you've got all your ducks strictly in a row. No swaying, no room for error, because they will get you if they can. And then my favorite, the realist. So this manager is a unicorn. They still have to go by the corporate rules, but they are fair. They'll work with you. They're always pushing you to do your best and reminding you when you're not. That's the boss we want, right? My last one is the mush boss. The mush boss, unfortunately, is a mush of all these different bosses, and you never know which split personality you're going to get. This one, just bob and weaving. You're figuring out and trying to play into each one of these little pieces to make it work for you. You're already at the job, so make this game a little fun for you. What kind of boss do you have? One of these or something else? Maybe something worse. Take it to the comments. I know I'm not the only one with the boss horror stories. And good ones. I explained the boss types. I've told you how these raises work. And if that all makes you think that nothing's going to change, stop that thought. You don't need to stage a revolt, but you do need to take control where you can. And that starts with you. How you set and manage your goals. Companies will say that performance goals exist to help you track your success, but let's be real, they're also there for the company's benefit. That doesn't mean you can't make them work for you. This is about your growth, your leverage, and your sanity. So whether your goals are handed to you or you set them yourself, you can shape them to your advantage. Well, how the hell are you going to do that? I'm going to tell you. First, make goals trackable and airtight. If it's not measurable, it can be manipulated. Write goals with clear deliverables that you can prove you met. Number 2, use ChatGPT as your power tool. Bonus power move: if you pay for ChatGPT, you can use projects for this. Drop in your job title, job description, and current goals. Ask ChatGPT to refine these into clear meets and exceeds. Ask for a breakdown of action items. What should you be tracking each month to prove your progress to yourself and the company? A little extra optional step: get ChatGPT to draft check-in updates for your boss. This allows you to toot your own horn, hopefully without making you feel awkward about it. And you shouldn't, damn it, own it. Own it, own it. Number 3, follow through and track progress. Use a simple spreadsheet to track what you accomplish month over month. I personally have a worksheet that has my one-on-ones and a separate worksheet for my goals. For my one-on-ones, I keep a 52-week tracker that contains meeting dates, notes, action items, and feedback from my manager. Everything in one place. My goals worksheet lists all my goals and my roadmap to success. Update as you accomplish or adjust. If something isn't working as you're going along, adjust it as early as possible. Don't wait. So that's it. 3 items. Why should you bother with this? Well, because stress sucks and control equals competence. And we want to shake off all those bad cognitive behaviors and learn our optimism again. When your goals are clear, you're not scrambling at review time. When you track progress, you have receipts. There's no surprises, no last minute panic. And the best part, this will make your job easier, because beyond the review, you feel more confident in what you're doing. And at the end of the day, these are your goals. They're not theirs, they're yours. Make them work for you. And when the workday ends, turn off the computer. Go back out into the real world and enjoy your life. It's just a job, babes. Too long didn't watch? I got you, babes. ChatGPT, spreadsheet stuff, own your, see what I did there? Numero uno, and that looks like 2, doesn't it? 1, a gnat won't squeeze through that hole. We're not. First, you're going to make your goals trackable and airtight. Keep this in the brain. If it's not measurable, it's manipulatable. If it's not measurable, it can be manipulated. Part of it is